Yeah, okay. Well, welcome everyone to today's game. It is the first week. So excited to finally see our apprentice teams begin to play. We have Soar Academy versus Exodus as our first game today, as well as another game that isn't being streamed. But we are very excited to see how this is going. You're most likely going to be receiving just a solo cast here because our other caster didn't show up. But if not, Abraxas may be coming in to say a couple of things, but he is our local streamer for today. So make sure to give him a lot of love for this. Yeah, he is chilling. And today's now, obviously, if you were not watching the Soar Invitationals that happened last week over the weekend, they were very great. Soar looked very rusty. They did manage to win a reverse sweep, but Exodus did end up kind of going up against one of the top teams at the time, Quacka Queens, to a very close game, and it was very impressive, honestly. So going into this game, the predictions are way more in favor of Exodus winning this match than it is against Soar. But we have to understand that going into this map, these teams have developed in this small week. So it is definitely possible that they have evolved and changed massively.
In my opinion, I think Exodus look really good, but I feel like on a lot of fronts they kind of lack. Their DPS line is crazy, by the way.
No, immensely.
But I feel like Soar look good at points. It's just they look weaker more than anything. And I really like Jerry has shown to be a pretty good DPS because I had sort of doubts about him because I never saw him outside of Genji. But Flank Yada and Speed Boost are a really good support line. They kind of caught me off guard in the Invitational because I rated Soar pretty low. I was like, I'm iffy on their support line. But then their support line looked good, and I was like, okay, I'm not iffy anymore. I think this will be a good game. Probably a map 4, map 5 tops.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I think in the at least tank area, Shroom has just shown to be a more competent or at least a better main tank mechanically against like Pineapple or anyone else. And most of these compositions that these teams are running are double ball, which Soar has been running since the inaugural season. So I feel like they have an edge up in that kind of category, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like I think it comes down to the tank line game in this one, to be honest, because both these tank lines are crazy good. Like Vespi King versus Pineapple and Shroom Boom versus Hypnotos. That'll be good to see because, I mean, Vespi's... I just lost my train of thought. Vespi Sigma looked crazy good. I mean, Exodus looked good as a whole, but Vespi King's Sigma was just really top tier. And it looks like we're already hopping into first map.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
When it comes to this game on Lijiang, we're going to this point. And with the and the meta is changing soon. At least that's somewhat of the teams that I'm hearing about ever since the experimental card has come in and Sigma and Ball received somewhat kind of big nerfs because Ball has less survivability and Sigma's shield just might be a death sentence to him. So when it comes into this, I wonder how these teams are going to adapt later in the year. And it looks like Exodus don't even want to end up running their Ball Sigma comp. It seems that they're hiding their true power as they're going straight to kind of this double shield centered comp to stay on this point and control the momentum. While Soars end up running this Ball Sig... I don't know if I can call it what it's called, the Hog and Ball Torture, but I'm just going to call it the Ball Hog composition.
Hog and Ball Torture is fine.
Okay, yeah. So, all right, as they're going in, it's going to be very intense to see how they go. As they're rolling out, we're going to be seeing both these teams have to touch point, but Exodus are going to be able to touch first since they have the Sem teleporter and they get that massive control. It's all about understanding the positioning when it comes into this. Soar is going to be taking these off angles. They want to look for an isolated target as Pineapple almost goes down, but gets saved by the Immor just barely. And Shroom is going to be going down first. Exodus have the advantage. They're going to be able to win this team fight, and it's going to be sending them back on room. Soar almost had it, but they didn't take the advantage when it came to Pineapple being so low and a bit overextended from his supports. So when it comes to this match, they have to take these angles, and they have to look for it.
Source comp, they're going to find themselves having a much more difficult time trying to fight with Exodus on point. Because you're really hoping that maybe Shroom Boom can get an early pick-off with his hook. That or Jerry can melt a tank. But besides that, they're playing like it's gonna be hard for them to take point back.
The slam goes down. I feel it's very hard to play this double bubble comp because they're not playing as aggressive as they can. Jerry has the copy. He's gonna be looking to get this shatter off, but he's gonna be charged off the point by Pineapple. That may look like an advantage, but honestly, it's a death sentence. Soar's composition works well playing split, but Shroom goes down. He misses to get that one shot. The mine's coming out, but Speed Boost is going down. And it looks like Exodus turned that very scary situation into a winnable point. They use this field to try to split it off and make sure they can 100% win this composition, though. For this fight, it looks like it looks like Soar is kind of struggling a bit to find any room for focus, while Exodus is doing a very good job to kind of space themselves close together so they're not getting isolated. Jerry from Echo is going straight to the Pharah. He's looking for that burst potential onto the enemy team. Shatter comes out. It gets to Reaper using the Death Blossom. It does get Speed Boost. Shroom is managing to survive, but it's going to go down. Whole Hog can only do so much with Hypnosis barely managing to survive and come back. Exodus have a very strong lead for this point. Pineapple managed to escape that with such little health. It's honestly a bit insane how they just let him go, but then again, they didn't have much in the terms of follow-up. So now Pineapple is kind of... Oh, yeah?
I'm just saying, Soar looks like they're confused on what to run, and it looks like Exodus know exactly what they want to run. Like,
yeah, Soar must have not been prepared against this comp. Look at that, the speed boost and the field coming out. They're looking to end this fight before anyone can touch point, but there are about 3 of Soar's people on the point. But in the end, Exodus has won this fight as they're just speeding on. There's no one who's really able to contest besides from the Pharah. They throw out the field, and now it's an ult fest as Exodus is just trying to end this fight, trying to stop the stall, but no one is able to touch point. Never mind, Hypnosis is able to touch. He's going to be slamming down, but being bursted. Shroom used the whole hog to try to make some space, but he's going to be bursted down, not able to heal himself. Lucio touching in the point. We only have 2 of Soar's people, not able to find any picks, so in the end, their stall isn't going to be doing much, but Empty's able to touch it, and then immediately gets melted, and that's going to end for point 1, going straight to Exodus.
Soar's tank line was just going to feed Tilted Waffle, and it was just going to feed Kimmy on the sim. But Soar's comp really, they struggled to get near point, and Exodus just did a really good job of playing the comp they wanted. And now this comp is going to look even better on this point. And, you know, considering that Soar was struggling last point, a point that they arguably should have been winning against, like, a more brawl-centric comp, you know, on a map like that. And it's, you know, kind of raising questions. I mean, were they really prepared to play that hog and ball, or was it sort of a last-minute decision? They didn't really look like they knew how to play the comp. Jerry swap over to Pharah was good, but I don't think he garnered any of the value he was looking to get. But
well, no, because he kind of didn't flank. When you play that Pharah, you want to take those off angles, especially in that type of composition, when you don't have that point control. But going in, both the teams still on the server room. It looks like Exodus has to back up. They don't have the pressure that they want. Immor's coming out, both of them gone. It's up for the first pick that'll define this fight, as both Junkrats are just looking to burst down anyone into this point. Exodus are kind of rotating around. Their shields are a lot lower than Soar, but they are doing very good in management. Point unlocked. It seems like they're going to be contesting right here. The rotations look out. Anyone going to get... Exodus is still a lot lower than Soar. Field Empty is first to have his ult. He's going to be using it to split, and Pineapple and Big Hoot are the first to go down. Soar are able to just start to aggress and push into this, and that's very good. If Empty had not gotten that ability, I was worried that since Tilted Waffle was flanking, they were going to be able to get that hit.
Soar Academy really just poked better there. Exodus really couldn't do anything. They were too low, and Soar got ults up first. That's all that really came down to. Jerry's Junkrat pick is way better than Kimmy's, it's good here, especially with the Symmetra, because that's like a lot of shield damage right on top, so it's already making it harder for Pineapple to push.
If the field's coming out first, we're going to be seeing Hypnosis get Big Hoot. That does so much damage. Even though they're splitting, they're not able to do much. The Shatter flank comes out from Pineapple, but it's half of his team is already gone. He's not able to get the charge in. He's going to be going down. Honestly, it's a bit impressive. Pineapple was at around 70% when it came to that last fight, and he manages to get the Shatter, even though Shroom had it first. But it looks like Soar have a better understanding of how to use their ult when it comes into the fight, because Pineapple had 2 people down, and I'm guessing he wanted to hero play it, because he just pops that Shatter, tries to win the fight, but isn't able to even get one person. Now this is in 3 ultimates coming out of Soar. They have kind of the advantage when it comes to the aggression, but Exodus have more ult. Everything is being hit. We have 4 ults being popped simultaneously, and it looks like Exodus is able to get the value out of it. They're going to be able to push this point, but they're still being contested. The control is... We're getting close to 1 one fight territory as Jerry's finally going to go down and Exodus have a chance to win, to earn this win. But they only have one ultimate in this fight, and that's very worrying. Exodus, Soar managed to conserve it a lot in the last fight.
I mean, Exodus popped more ults than Soar.
Yep.
I can't even say anything.
They're already using it. The field's coming out. Shatter, it gets a couple, but the Imlar's going to save them. Riptide manages to get two massive people, and that's Exodus's big issue. They used both their support ults in that last fight. Sound barrier is so massive when it comes to saving a team. Pineapple has to switch onto the ball because in this point, everyone is going down. They're focusing down the Sigma, and Soar looks so dominant when it comes. They look like a completely different team from that last point. Pineapple just trying to stall this out for his team to come back. Now they cap. They're going to be hitting into this 90%, and it's up to Exodus to find any picks that they can. Vespi switched to Diva, but going back to Sig, resetting his charge. KM on this Doomfist for that one-hit potential. Unable to get anything, really, and it's going to go down and punish for that. Now we're in overtime. It's all up for someone on Exodus. Tilted. Oh, it's about to have Riptire. He's kind of stalling himself out. The Shatter comes out looking to get the rest of their team. It does get Pineapple. That Riptire is coming out looking for anyone. It does get flanked out. They have no support. But there's only two people on the side of Exodus to do anything. Looks like they're playing around. Big Hoot being able to stall Doomfist back onto the point. Shroom is finally going down. This may be the turning point that Exodus wanted to get. There's no focus fire coming on, and Empty is going to be going down now. This is getting bad. Jerry does manage to get tilted off, but they're not able to get anything. They have to back up. Sound Barrier being used to just help survive in this fight, and that may cost them later in because they're not going to have any support ults now. But Exodus still managed to win that point. Sure, it goes to 99%, but it's still a chance for them to win due to stall. Soar's going back into this fight. They look angry. They look hungry. They're a bit spaced out and staggered. Not everyone is with them. They have to be careful for that Doomfist too. KM is able to get that one shot so he could end the fight before it even starts. The brawl's coming in. Mines being used to split up the team. However, Sword does manage to space themselves out. They're going to be rotating to ignore the mines completely. Ball tries to boop him in. The one punch isn't able to hit anything, but he does slam in. Look at this. Sword is very low. The Immort managing to save a couple lives. Jerry's going to be bursted down. Shroom does get KM, but Speed Boost and Hypnosis are going down. And it looks like just the fact that it's all 99, it looks like Sword's making a lot more mistakes than before.
Kimmy's Doomfist really helped Exodus there displace that team, and then Tilted just melted them. Like, the Doomfist pick, I was sort of like, oh no, they're not going to do much on it because there's just like when there's picks to stall. But Kimmy looks pretty proficient in the Doomfist and getting his cooldowns off. So that might be
100%. They're using the field to kind of split it. Riptire being used to look for any picks or to just space it out. Doomfist split it up the team, but they're solo ulting just so they can win this fight. It's dirty, but it works. As all that's left are 3 people on the point. Vespi, the Baby Diva, and the ball. They finally kill him, but it's all up to this ball. They're looking for that charge, and they miss it. But the ball's going to go down. There's no one to touch as they're contesting. Never mind, the enemy team has now arrived. They're looking for anything. Riptire being used, looking to get a pick. He's spacing it out. That's very patient work, and I respect it, but they're not able to touch as Sword is able to cap point 2, technically. You know, I want to give a lot of props to Soar here. They looked very messy on the first point, but when it came to this brawl, they looked very clean, and they were very patient. They understood their win conditions for their ultimate, and they didn't overuse it during a fight. Every fight that they did, they either conserved ultimates or used just the perfect amount to win that fight.
Yeah, Soar looked much more disciplined, really, on that map, and they looked better on that mirror matchup, like, compared to the first map. That's kind of why, you know, maybe the Hog and Ball was just a meme pick. That or they weren't as practiced on it, but they look way more solid on this sort of comp. And now Hypnotus is on Monkey, which is kind of weird, but
he's probably wanted to play that Monkey to kind of pressure that Sim, but the Reaper's going to be a big issue for them going into this fight. They both have teleporters, so it matters to who makes the point. Soar manages to place it first, but they're there at the same time. Here comes the brawl. Big anti hitting Exodus. Their Imwar's gone. Big Hoot's not able to survive. Reaper looking for anything, but he's only able to fight somewhat even, but Soar is just able to win this value. Looks like when it came to map 1, they just wanted to put a little flair, have some edge onto this, and now they're going to be able to cap point 1. The point once it's able to be unlocked, and I think Exodus are going to have to play a bit more carefully. They're not. When it came to that fight, they were a bit pushed back, and the Monkey's just able to make more space when it comes to this fight and shut down any Symmetra. So it's up to their team to look for any high aggressive moments and shut down their support line that's keeping them up. Their monkey does go low though, so he's having to move back into the point. The Reaper's flanking. Exodus are finally finding the opportunity to push in to look for any value, but the Reaper gets slept. He does manage to save. Pineapple's moving in. His shield does slow down, and he's unable to survive. His team wasn't with him. The anti comes in, and this is the point for Soar to just move in. Hypnosis is going to go down, though. It's all up for Shroom to try to survive. The Nano is used to save his life, but also to look for this high aggressive moment. They're not looking for Cam, who's out on the left, and Ermash, who's going to be looking for it. And now their team split. Big speed boost does get picked off, and Exodus look like they want to take this chance to find Shroom, but he's just going to shatter and shut down the push before anything can happen. You know, this is why I say Shroom looked like one of the best main tanks, and honestly is the best main tank in this game for this lobby right now. He hits that shatter knowing that they weren't going to contest him, and he manages to get the Reaper, and he shuts down that fight before anything can happen. That looked very bad, but now Exodus has the opportunity to get the revenge. The field coming out looking, but the shatter comes out! Speed boost gets hit, Shroom is going to go down, and Exodus are going to be able to win this push. The Primal comes out to try to stall this out, I guess. They want to get as much time as possible, but they're not going to be able to win this fight. Monkey's going low. They're going to be able to get Jerry, and now he's going down. Exodus have the advantage. It looked a lot more clean in that fight. Pineapple Shatter managed to win it, and both DPS ults are on the side of Exodus. It's going to be a very tough choke for Soar to try to have to push through, but they do have the sim. Maybe they might try to teleport when it comes to going around. And I think Tilted and Kame are going to have to be a bit more aggressive when it comes to this, or they're having to have to play a bit more close with their team. They're not playing as comfortable as the enemies are. The Death Blossom from the high ground, and look at that, it's going to get two people, sending them back to the spawn room before anything could happen. Amazing use and amazing scouting from Tilted to just immediately notice that teleporter there, so he could end up doing it. He manages to help his team get a couple more ultimates in return, while Soar has to switch from that monkey straight to the Sigma. They can't use it because there's no Symmetra, basically, so the monkey's just getting bursted down by the tanks and by the DPS. This is where the counterplay goes in, understanding. The shatter comes out, it gets most of them, but the high noon sound barrier is spacing them back. They're unable to do anything. Counter shatter coming in, the bomb. Death Blossom manages to get one. Bomb does get empty. It's kind of even, but Jerry's going to uneven it up. Sound barrier being used to keep the team alive. Pineapple's going to go down as Exodus is playing very split. This isn't looking good. Empty on the point against 3 people, but his team comes to back him up, and they're going to be looking to get any value into this fight. It's on 61%. They're not pushing in. It looks like Big Q's able to survive for a bit longer than they would have wanted, as Exodus is doing very well to stall this out, but now their team's going out as they're in this stagger fight. As the tanks come back, it looks like Vespi and Pineapple have to back out, and now we're in this last fight territory. That's 85%. Shroom does have the shatter, while Exodus doesn't have any ultimates. They used it in that last fight to try to stall it out, but it was unable to get any success or value, so they have to win this off of a dry fight. With their composition, I think it's highly possible. And Vespi and Tilted have to touch first, so it's a wonder of who's going to get the first pick. That's going to define the win. They stun this out, but Shatter gets used. It gets blocked. No, it doesn't fully get blocked. Flint gets hit, but Exodus still take that opportunity to play the aggression, and Pineapple's able to get the major of the picks as he's going to win this for his team. That was insane. Now Pineapple and Cam have the ult advantage, and it's up to Flank to get that nano. It's up for high Hypnosis to get the Flux to try to win this next fight. That was very impressive coming out of Exodus.
Pineapple just MTD Shroom Boom so hard it sort of hurt to watch.
That is true. Look at that. They're using the High Noon to kind of slow them down and save their team. The counter High Noon making that space for them, but the Flux comes out. They use the Coalescence to try to get anything. The Nano coming out. Shatter hits him. They're using the Slam. They're going to be able to burst it down. But the Death Blossom is able to help out the team and get this pick. This is absolutely insane. That last minute ult from Jerry is going to help win this. And and Exodus is going to be unable to touch this point, even if they were to switch ball due to that team kill. And point 1, map 1 is going straight to Soar Academy.
I mean, oh, okay.
Oh, did we not want to see play the game?
I thought we did, but I guess we aren't.
My bad. I didn't. You know, I didn't know.
Oh.
I didn't think we would. Oh no, my first mistake as lobby host. But either way, we'll continuously show them in the end. But very amazing plays coming out of Soar. I'm very impressed. They looked much better compared to map 1.
Point 1. I mean, yeah, Jerry did sort of pop off there at the end when he needed to. So big props to him for that. That whole round looked way closer than it originally felt. Like I was sort of assuming that after that Death Blossom came in, it was just going to be a clean sweep for or Exodus were probably going to win it pretty comfortably. But then Reaper pressed Q, and that's all she wrote. So not much you can really do there.
Yeah,
Other than
we just got the stats back from that map, and Exodus did a lot more damage than compared to Soar when it came to that map. But Jerry managed to get the highest. He did around 16k damage.
I also died halfway through that map because my sister came in to make fun of me. So that was awesome.
Oh man, look, your KD is not looking good. Did you make fun of her back?
No, it's in the middle of streaming. But besides that, dude, that map looked way closer than I originally thought it'd be. And
No, yeah,
I'm curious what map they're gonna send us to next.
100%. Looking at the stats just to kind of inflate some of the players' egos, while Jerry may have had 16k of the damage, it looked like Pineapple had the highest amount of deaths, but Tilted had the highest final blows at 20. Compared to Jerry's 19, looked like Exodus's DPS were just doing a tiny bit better than it was in the Soar, but I guess in their movement and ult advantage, they just managed to play it. Soar has less healing compared to Exodus. Flint's managed to get off 18k, while Speed Boost only got around 11k. That's not looking great. Soar did get a couple more elims, but then again, they took their fights a lot faster, especially on to point 2, where Exodus were playing very quick going into these fights and then losing very quick. And even when it came to this, these tanks had the most ults, but very impressively, Flank is tied at 7% when it came to the ults use. So that's 7 ults per amount of minutes. I don't know the exact kind of number of what it is, but it's still very impressive. And when for these teams to be playing at this kind of level, for a support to be playing at that level, to be even when it comes to ultis, supports have a lot of need to stay alive and get that value into this. And sure, Speed Boost died a lot, 10 deaths per 10 minutes, I think, if that's how it works, compared to Big Hoot and Flint's 9 and 8. But Flank managed to stay up to 7, and that's amazing. They are asking for the map type. What map?
It's Control Escort. I'm positive we're on Escort. Yeah, we are on Escort next.
Yep, so we're going to be giving them a time to do this. But these stats are a lot closer. But I think Flank really made a big difference, kind of over-toppling Exodus. But Exodus as a team look way better right now if we were just looking at stats alone.
Yeah. I feel like both teams are pretty neck and neck when it comes to skill. Like, there were some points there where Pineapple definitely edged out. I keep losing my train of thought. Or it looked like Pineapple was going to edge out Shroom Boom. But I feel like Shroom Boom in the long run has sort of got more support from his team. Like, he was getting nanos more. And I feel like that's sort of why the Ana is a little bit better. Because while you lose a lot of what the meta
versatility, I guess, in the fights.
Yeah, I mean, you gain it back in the nano, and nano's crazy strong. And so, like, there's a lot of times where Shroom Boom just walked over Pineapple because he had nano. And it's not like Pineapple would really do much. So you take some L's, but you gain a little bit in return.
All right, we are going to be going on to Rialto for this map. For our escort, quickly going to ask for if there's any swaps. Yep. All right, never mind. We're just going to be waiting for this, and honestly, I'm a bit more impressed. I think what edges sort out, because when you have two teams of equal skill, it's not, at that point, it doesn't matter to the individual skill. It matters as a team and how they're playing.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that Soar looked to be a lot more disciplined and playing extremely well. Someone joined our lobby and then immediately left. I'm very impressed, if I do say so myself. Soar is going to be sticking onto the defense, so there's no swaps having to be made. Looks like Exodus are just using this time. They have 5 minutes, I do believe. Are you keeping time?
No.
All right, at some point, we're just going to say 5 minutes, guys. Because we're not keeping track. You know, we're already doing so much. You know, we're running the league. The least they can do is keep time.
I guess.
Oh, it was Wano that accidentally joined.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was him. Ideally, I'd rather not be sitting here for like 15 minutes waiting on an R, so.
Well, wait, yeah, because you do end up having to go soon, so, you know, in the end, if they want their game to be finished streamed, they're going to have to play a bit more faster. Oh, man. But I do love how Soar is kind of, they look more synergized as a team. Exodus had those moments where it looked like Pineapple wanted to get this big hero playing, go for this very risky shatter, or someone on their team was investing an ult when the team fight could be considered over. And if their team's calling it and they all agree it's not that big an issue because it's a team-centered idea. But in the end, it kind of hurts them in the long run, especially I think it was on point 2 for Lijiang Tower. They invest like 4 ultimates compared to Soar's 1. We are going to be starting this map, though. It's going to be very great to see how it goes. I do think this does favor Ball's sake a bit more, but we might be seeing some double shield depending.
It sort of makes me mauled that I couldn't finish map screen in time for the stream. It sort of does, because map screen looked dope. Anyways, it's up to Rialto.
Yeah. Honestly, Rialto is such. I think people either love it or hate this map, especially.
This map sucks.
Yeah, you hate this map, but I can enjoy this map. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And we're gonna be seeing Ballsy coming from both.
There's just too many chokes you have to push through, to be honest. Like, there's the one in first point here. Then you could consider that last point choke, where like you cap to be a choke. I don't know. I just feel like this map is really designed poorly. Like, that's a consistent trend with the boys over at Overwatch, is they're awful at designing maps. It's atrocious how bad some maps are.
Yeah, I think Blizzard's idea is we can make these maps tougher and longer if we just add more chokes, so more Junkrat players can just spam through.
People are like, I hate maps with so many tight chokes, but then they're like, King's Row, mwah, the best map, mwah. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Kings, if I'm being quite honest. That's a hot take. That's a scorching take. King's Row is not a good map.
I don't enjoy King's Row too much just because it's a single brawl map. That's all people... Oh. Alright, they are running into a pause. We're going to be seeing it coming straight out of Soar. What? Okay. What? Okay, I mean, Soar's the one that said pause anyways. They don't need them to spam it. Either way, going into this map, very weird. But going on to the King's Row, like, I like King's Row, but I just don't like continuously only running Brawl on the map. It's kind of sleeper at times.
Yeah, King's Row is good. I feel like Ryan Zarya it's still good on King's Row, but it's not as good as it used to be. Like, that's for sure. I think Sig is just sort of the better pick in a lot of metas right now, which is sucky to say. But Sig is just such a good off tank. He does everything so much better than any others. Getting DMs galore because people only like acknowledging my existence when I am streaming.
You know, I just know it's kind of a fact that when you start streaming, people will text you solely to distract you. I know that for a fact because Spongy did that to me a bit ago. All right, now we're going into this fight. Both of these teams pause done as Jerry kind of ult-tabbed like a fool. Slam coming down, Pineapple getting a big slam. But look at that, Jerry is able to get tilted, and Big Hoot are going down, so Exodus kind of have to back up into this fight. They're not able to. A very great coordination dive from Shroom, but he does get boofed off the map by Pineapple, which is kind of funny.
Those are sort of
he's gonna be
the plays you want to be setting up on the comp they're running, like Shroom Boom pile drived as soon as Empty's dynamite was going to hit, so that knocked them up and gave Empty essentially a free dynamite to just melt them down. So those are sort of the plays you want to be setting up on a comp they're playing. But they're running mirrored comps. It's just the fact of, can Exodus do what Soar is doing? And that's another free pick.
Yeah, Exodus are able to push this payload a tiny bit, while Soar's taking a massive amount of damage, but they still have the, I guess the advantage, I said advantage, but damage into this fight, because Tilted's flanked with the pocket, but they're still taking more damage, and Vespi's gonna go down. The way that the Exodus are playing this is somewhat right, but also somewhat wrong, as they are pocketing Tilted Waffle, so they're getting off more damage, but they're unable to really pocket their team. I have a timer. The 5 minutes is starting in my ear. Oh no, doesn't matter. Going into this fight.
Oh no.
Back to my train of thought, but Exodus aren't giving their tanks enough value to pocket in, and Soar's just taking that that moment of hesitation and that moment of open, and they're getting these high plays. They're just doing everything. Minded's coming out to split the entire team though, but the pulse bomb gets eaten by Hypnosis. That might be a change, or they don't have that ultimate, but they are using the Valk to try to push in. All the mines are gone, so they're looking, but Shroom does manage to get KM the ball, winning this Tracer fight. Looks like Jerry is flanking. He's going to be looking for this pulse bomb. Soar is respecting them and giving them the space to be able to move around. Now they're throwing out Bob and Mind to try to win this fight out. Looks like Big Hoot is going to be able to go survive, but Flint gets sacrificed in the end, and now Soar is being able to clean up. And Soar is just honestly looking kind of scary. The discipline that this team is showing is kind of intense. Because normally... Yeah, because I would never see a team kind of push back when they have the advantage. They would immediately go in like, oh, we have this, we can do whatever we want. But no, Soar just said, you know what, we'll let you push that payload, but in return, we're going to wait for a moment to kill your entire team.
Stream just had the fortune of watching Jerry miss a step on the stairs using Blink and then pop off. So Jerry's redemption arc in under 20 seconds.
And you know, we'll make a pin for it, you know?
Someone clip it. Someone clip it. We'll put it in announcements.
Yeah, we'll put it in a Flux Cup week next week.
Flux Cup date.
Exactly.
That's such a good name. I don't care what anyone says.
I like it, dude. We do miss the pulse bomb coming in from KM, but they used the bomb, managed to split them up. Speed boost does go down, but in return, Shroom and Empty even this fight, make an advantage. That Flux coming out and does manage to get tilted. He's gonna get the pocket, saves his life as he moves on to the high ground. He's going to be flanking. He's looking for this advantage as Soar is looking to poke out Big Hoop. They don't want to give him that free space. Look at this. This is kind of funny. Tilted's playing in the back line. He's waiting for this flank to be used so he can touch cart just in case they're unable to do anything. Yeah, flank and speed both have their no, when it comes to like Big Hoop does have his ult, but flank goes down. If they can't rest that, that's massive. And speed goes down empty too. It looks like Exodus finally got the chance that they were looking for. This is a massive opening. They're looking to burst down Shroom, and they're able to push this payload. And it's all up to Shroom to touch card to attempt to stall this while his team comes back because they have the ult advantage. No, they're just going to give this up. They understand that it would be too risky, and they'd be giving more ult charge. And they're going to give this point straight to Exodus. So now we're moving in.
Oh, had they noticed Tilted Waffle was on the flank, it could have prevented Flankiata from getting killed, and they could have had Trank there to kind of keep the fight still going, but that pick just was awful, and you never want to be caught dying with both of your support ults.
Massively. Like, honestly, I would have not blamed Flank as the moment he went low, he just tries to save himself. Jerry is going to go down, though. While Shroom throws out the mines while he's halfway to death. Does manage to get Pineapple with it, but the DPS for Exodus are helping to move this. KM does get flanked, so they do have the advantage. Big Hypnosis has to run away. The rest does go on Shroom, but they have to back out. They don't have any form to kind of contest this point.
That's 2 fights now Source supports have died with their ults. Like, you need to pop them inevitably. Like, even if you're starting to find yourself getting low, it's better just, yeah, like what Big Hoot just did. It's better to pop it so you can survive rather than die with it.
Look at that. Empty does go down. Mines using the block to choke. They're just stalling them out. I don't like how cautious Soar is being with their ultimate. You're going to get them back if you're playing well in this game. See, look at this. Valk is being used for this engage. That's very good. Because look at that. Now they're able to get value off it. They get Big Who. The trans comes out a little late. Unable to save Hypnosis, but it is able to stall for this team. They're using it to get that res out. That's actually really good. But Flank is going to be going down in the cover fire. Tilted's Bob is showing he deserves a starting roster on this team. Bob's going to be pushed back. And Soar is unable to really stop that point. They're kind of just giving Exodus free cart to just push this and really little to no contest. Look at this. Now they don't have their support ults, but they're going to have everything else.
Yeah, their support ults were popped a little bit too late there. Flankiata's trans was sort of late. And I mean, Flintless just popped the rally and did whatever they wanted. And that was, like, I was just watching it as they just walked around shooting. Like, okay, acknowledge Flint's existence, please, Soar.
Yeah, like their target focus is a bit iffy at times, but the issue is that they're not they're not taking advantage of their ultimates. They're not playing aggressively when they have these moments, and Exodus ends up just being able to win off that. Look at that, Vespi's going to be going into the air, but it gets canceled out, I think, by a rock or something. I didn't see.
It was a
What is
rock.
that? Okay, yeah, that's very good. Bob being used. He's on the cart. He gets kind of booped to the side. That was an accidental, really good boop, but it does cost KM his life. Exodus are just being able to stall this one out. Pineapple goes low, but Shroom is going to go down. Bob is now gone. Mine's being used. It does get split, costing Hypnosis his shield, and Exodus still are able to tinily push this cart. Jerry does get tilted, but the issue with this is that Soar is not forcing them to leave the cart, so Exodus are just able to kind of touch it and move it every slightly. We are going to less than a minute, so now we're going to be seeing some plays being need to be made. But compared to Flank-Yada, 64% Big Hoop already has a train back. Same with Flint's rally, and that pretty much can considered a team fight win if Sword doesn't pull some massive plays. We're seeing this as they're setting it up. The pulse bomb comes in and Flank goes down. They're going to be looking for that res. The Flux comes out. It gets 2. It's going to be able to get empty. There's going to be no chance for a Dynamite to help. The trans being used. It's going to be touching all the mines to stall it out. Flank is going back to the graveyard as Jerry gets dynamited. They're just trying to stall us out. It's only 2 people. Exodus doing a good job in using their ultimates and taking disadvantage. Shroom going down in this fight while Speed Boost is going to... It looks like Exodus is just... Target focus has just improved immensely. Flank does get the trance. He's just touching cart, looking to stall this out. They want to get this to overtime because that will be better for them in the end if they do manage to cap all 3 points with time. Look at this. They're going to be going in 3 seconds left. The Bob coming out. Hopefully he gets the final pick. And look at this. Bob tracking is absolutely amazing. Same with Tilted. They're just doing amazing to get these picks, and that does get caught in overtime, but Exodus is able to cap all 3 points.
Exodus went from nearly getting full health to getting all 3 points. So you really have to give it up for him there, and you have to give it up to Tilted Waffle for flanking and getting that pick on Flank-Yada to start off this whole snowball effect. Overall, I think Exodus were much more initiative with their ults. Like, I feel like Soar either held them too long or they popped them too late or too prematurely. Exodus looked like the better team there at the end, and that's all there really is to say. But Soar can definitely bring it back. I mean, Jerry has definitely been popping off this map, but I feel like, the support line was sort of better for Soar. Or the support line was better for Exodus. Flint was just, I was watching Shroom Boom. He was trying so hard to kill Big Hoots. And Flint was just there with armor packs. Like, no, because balanced hero. Good dev team. But besides that, I feel like their support line was better to just sort of weather the storm of what Soar was playing.
Yeah, sort of kind of staked on the Mercy for a bit too long. Wasn't getting much value, and especially if they, because that Briggs rally can just be so powerful in keeping the team alive. And in this comp, when you're not able to, where the goal is target focus, but sometimes you're not always target focusing as a team. It's unlike in Brawl where everyone's just focusing one person, melting them down. That break can just keep that Zen alive for the entirety of the map, and that's what Flint was just able to do.
I have to mod Alianos / mod at Alion. There you go.
Yeah, I don't trust Alianos.
Same. He's just, I can't trust him.
Yeah.
He smells.
Alright. He does. We're going to be seeing Shroom looking for some value. They're scouting into this fight. Exodus is doing very good not to fall off this high ground. I've seen it many times happen. And Cam is able to get Jerry, showing that he deserves this DPS spot in this fight. Speedboost also gets pushed off the map. Ironic for Mercy, who can glide. And Pineapple's just showing that he is the king of the ball map.
I feel bad for Shroom Boom. Oh,
we're going to be seeing a pause coming from Exodus this time instead of Soar. I'm going to start a timer for 5 minutes, just so I can say I at least had one.
And it's better to say you did than you didn't, alright?
No, yeah. But I think when it comes to this next push, it's going to be very kind of crucial for not only Soar to play as a team and engage like they did in a Brawl comp, but they need to be playing a lot faster and using their ult a lot more aggressive. So compared to Exodus, who look completely different. They 100% look better on this ball sig comp than Soar does, which, I lose money on that. But at least on the bright side, Soar looked way better when it worked.
I feel like, okay, Flint was already back, so there's not really giving me time to do any deep threat analysis. I mean, there is none to really do. Both teams look solid on the comps they're running.
Yeah, look at that. Shroom's gonna go down in return while the pause was ended.
I felt so bad for Shroom. I watched him miss like 4 grapples in a row. Like, just could get no momentum. It was definitely it's a sad moment.
Yeah, he does get Resdo. He's brooming all the way onto the high ground, just like my old Lucio days. He's going up. He finds the flank. He's going to be able to boot them. Exodus has rotated so far back, actually, that this can give Soar enough space to move the cart, but they're so involved with Pineapple, and they're unable to... KM has to kill himself because they couldn't kill him. And he's just able to just move around, empty, looking for any kind of pick. Pineapple is far behind, but they're not pushing this payload. They're doing good by doing nothing.
Exodus' rotation is actually really good, though, because, you know, pushing that far back, what it does is it forces Soar to play in an area where Exodus has sightlines. They have advantages here. Tilted Waffle can just shoot.
Ooh, empty, getting in that pick, enjoying that scope inaccuracy before it gets nerfed. Now they have the chance to push this in, but you are 100% right. I didn't think about that. The res does come on to Big U, so they're going to be able to build a trans for this fight, but everything looks about even. But Tilted, actually, never mind. Tilted has Bob first. He's going to be throwing it in. It is going to be able to contest card, but Jerry manages to get 2 picks. The Mine's coming out looking to get those supports. It's unable to, but they are going to be bursting them down, splitting them up so they can't do any support. Speed Boost doesn't get any peel from his support, and he ends up going down because of it. The Transcendence comes out to keep 3 to 4 people alive on the cart, but they have to get something out of it, and they are. However, Exodus is stalling this out very well. The res coming out, they ignore the Mercy. Vespi coming back in. Now the Flux coming out, countered to the Trans. Exodus are doing an amazing job just stalling out this fight. They don't need to get these ult Shroom using the mines on this cart. They are still not pushing it, having to back up, but they do manage to get Cam and Pineapple, but in return, oh, never mind, sorry, they managed to cap point even though it was an even fight. I'll give that to Soar, but I won't give that to Exodus. They were respecting the mines.
Oof. I'm going to come out and say it, and this might be a sort of hot take, but I think Big Hoot is the better Zen between himself and Flankiata. I don't know, that's
yeah, ironic for a guy with the word Flankiata.
Like, Big Hoot has just looked really clean. I feel like Big Hoot plays the game much more dangerously. Like, they were just on a flank there. Like, they were... but I feel like they're getting more value. I mean, they're charging Tranks quicker. It might be an incident of, like, teams.
Oh!
That's good. That's really good for Exodus.
Yeah, KM just getting that 2K. But honestly, I agree with you. I feel like what makes the difference is that Big Hoot's taking these flanks. He's taking these, like, high-risk, high-reward kind of plays. Well, ironically, Flankiata isn't flanking. He's playing very close in with his team, and then he gets split up, or unfortunately, he is unable to keep his support alive, and that's costing them a couple of these fights.
I mean, yeah,
you know?
There's not much, I mean... Right now, Soar are looking like they're sort of struggling because, you know, they have to be playing to get these sight lines back. They have to be playing to get high ground. It's going to be difficult. Flankiata just got left. His team just pushed bridge, and they just left him there. Look at him. Now, what are you going to do?
Yeah, look, Jerry's going to go down and get melted by the entirety of the team.
Flank is just
they have to go...
screwed here.
Honestly, I'd have to agree. Look at that. Shroom was going to go down. So now... this is such a staggered fight. While the entirety of Soar is trying to get onto this high ground, Exodus are already ready and they're taking this advantage. Look at Pineapple. He's already putting pressure onto the enemy team. He's going to flank around, hit them, boot them in, and throw in the mines. Already getting 2 picks, and guess what? Those picks that the people who came back earlier now have to go back to spawn and wait for these 2, and now we have to wait for flank. Soar is about to have 6 ultimates, but they're not using them at all. They're not having the chance to take this fight, and this is what's giving Exodus the major win. And now look, Big Hoot's going to have Trans, Cam's building up for another Pulse Bomb, Flint soon will have Val. They're basically evening this up, and Pineapple's being shown to be able to get these mines much faster than compared to Shroom, which is going to be giving them the advantage for these fights. Tilted does go low, but he's just getting this pocket. He's able to back up. Oh my god, Flank almost went down and Pineapple almost slammed off the map, and that was pretty funny to me. So now we're seeing them rotate to this high ground. They're giving up this point control and return to look for a pick. Pulse Bomb comes out, Speed Boost walks into it. There was a shield trying to block it, but it kind of saved flank rather than speed. And now they have to wait for the Mercy. They have 6 ult. Shroom is pushing this point. Bob is being used to look for any kind of pick and slow them down while Empty gets picked down. And so does his Bob, unable to get anything. Flux coming out, same with Minus, are looking to combo this, and it does burst down 2 of their teammates, 2 of the enemy before the trans can save them. So this may help save, but Hypnosis goes down. Look at that, Flanks tries to use the trans to save them, and it's unable to use it, hesitates and uses it a bit too late, but the Reds comes to speed, is using the Mercy's gun to try to find any pick though. Hypnosis is able to get Pineapple, and Cam is able to get him. The Flux being used onto that Mercy and Sig, looking to slam them down. Mercy manages to live. The Slam's going to be able to finish them out. And as I was going to say, Soar managed to bring this back. It looks like Exodus brought this back. Flint's looking to get that Mercy kill, is unable to find it, and is just trying their hardest, but has to back out. Jerry going low. Hypnosis having to switch onto the Monkey so that they can touch point back. Exodus looking so clean right now. Freshy, sharp, Mr. Clean. As Shroom Hypnosis is having to touch point with the Lucio. They want to stall this out, look for any kind of pick that they can. Exodus target focus is almost immaculate as they're able to burst down the Monkey and Lucio in about 2 seconds flat, and it's unable for Soar to do anything. It's Exodus is going to win Game 2.
You got to really give it up to Exodus there. They played that really well. They either played it really well or Soar played it really poorly. And my one is flipped on stream. What the hell? Transform.
Oh, well, you're gonna hear that all stream. Look at that. Tilted gets it, and this is exactly what got them the momentum.
I flipped it the wrong way. I think we have to flip it horizontal. There we go. I fixed it. Woo! The power. I fixed it. Okay, there we go. But did it fuck it up anywhere else? No, I fixed it. Yo, that's how you do it, Rockcrafts. That time you scuffed on your stream, that's how you do it. You flip it horizontal. Ah, there you go. Flip it horizontal. Anyways, I just think Exodus looked clean there. Like, they were getting picks early to start off fights. I mean, Soar couldn't really do... as Soar, you can't do a whole lot when you're down 2 people before you even push. They just looked like they were struggling to make it across bridge because Exodus just had full control of sight lines. And, you really don't want that when you're playing a comp like the one they're playing. And, Big Hoot just looked good. Big Hoot just looked good on the Zen. I feel like, to be honest, Exodus just looked better than Soar Academy, basically that whole map, pretty consistently. So
yeah, 100%. And when we just got the stats back, I'm looking at it right now for this game, and Exodus's damage just was a bit higher, but in the end, they had less deaths overall, their entire team, compared to Soar. Almost everyone on Soar got 10, with 2 of their players being Empty and Speed Boost having 12 deaths per 10 minutes, while Exodus's lowest is 5 deaths per 10 minutes. And that's Vespi and Flint. The fact that Flint's rarely died is very good and kept the team alive.
Yeah, I'll be right back for like 2 seconds.
Okay, yeah. We're just waiting on Exodus's side. The 5-minute timer is going up. And look at this. Pineapple was able to get 32 elims, and I don't know what if it's per 10 minutes or what it is, but that's still 32. Same with KM, absolutely massive. The lowest they got was 12. Speed Boost, which is Flint's. Elims, while Speed Boost had 1. That's the lowest. Flint is rivaling Flank Yada. And that's absolutely insane. We're going to be seeing Exodus want to go to defense. So I am going to have... Please bear with me as I have to switch the sides quickly. Just for these teams. But in the end, I think Soar have to step it up. They're going on to King's Row because it's heavily a brawl map, and I think they want to play this brawl. They look a lot cleaner. They look a lot better as a team. But, it's up to...
I'm back.
Yep. I'm just making sure that we have the right sides. Before we start this off, also... Toasty was on Soar, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Okay.
Okay, then we're pretty much ready. As we wait for these teams to give us the R, They do only have around 2 minutes left. I started a timer when we got the picks.
I really
And
don't,
so-
dude. I really hate being told my family has plans 20 minutes before we have plans, dude. So, oh fuck, dude. Of course not.
no.
It's just amazing, right? My mom's just like, oh yeah, we're doing something at this time, and I'm like, I guess we couldn't tell me that yesterday.
It seems that Navino has DM'd me saying it's not pronounced can, it's cam.
It's Kemi. Yeah, Kim. I think it's Kemi.
Look, my first language was Spanish, okay?
First language was Spanish. Wow.
Yeah,
Very
you know, I blame my Spanish. Yeah, I don't think Jerry's gonna be able to get it yet.
Got Rockcraft Malding. What's Rockcraft Malding over?
What? I don't know. Oh god, did I do something wrong? He told me he'd sue me if I messed up.
Okay,
A minute 30 while we wait for the R's from both these teams is going into a minute. I think Soar are gonna be able to kind of speed run this.
Once that minute 30's over, just throw us in.
Yep. I feel like Soar have the major advantage going into this with that brawl, but that's not saying that Exodus won't be able to win this. Exodus is a lot more higher than I'm honestly. Oh, Pineapple left. We're seeing R's from everyone on Soar. Checking internet. They have 20. No, Pineapple comes back as Soar almost had a chance to start the map without Pineapple. If we started it without Pineapple, would he even be able to join back?
Yes, he would be able to rejoin at any point. Actually, wait, I think that's just for disconnected players, so he might not be able to.
Yeah, so he may have just lost it for his entire team for leaving. We're gonna have 3 seconds, 2, 1. We're forcefully having to start it because it was 5 minutes, and Abraxas has to go soon, so we can't give them the liberty of extending a time.
King's Row. Initiating match.
Speeding this thing up. 5 minutes up, we start. Nice, telling them right.
Yep.
Hitting the
They
line.
get it afterwards, all right? So they can't complain. That's just how it works in life.
Oh, we're on map 3. I didn't even update the thing. Give me a sec.
Oh man, you are just distracted. Understandably so.
I'm having to think about like 8,000 current things because, you know, life is
Ready
life.
for battle.
I felt that, man. That's why you gotta.
At
That's why you
least
suppress Overwatch.
my overlay's at least much easier to navigate than like Pindies from League 0. Because like with Pindies, it's like, oh shit, I forgot to do 8 things. Like,
Attackers incoming
it was
in
difficult.
30
But
seconds.
with this one, I pretty much know where everything's at, so it's not that big a deal for me. So, but with Pindies, I spent more time looking, trying to figure out where everything was at to update than I did actually paying attention. Because like for me, I always set up things in advance,
Hello.
but I probably shouldn't be talking about.
Hello.
I probably shouldn't be complaining about something. I should probably talk about the game, and it's obviously a mirror matchup because why wouldn't it be? This game is no longer fun.
Yep, it's exactly the reason why I don't like it, but it is fun to watch. We're gonna be seeing the copy. Looks like Soar's already ready to just walk out. The wall gets split, kind of weirdly, but Soar is able to get more of a value off of it, even if Exodus are able to get more picks as they pick off empty, and Soar's unable to kind of push into this point. They're stuck at this choke. They're looking for this brawl phase. They're just waiting for Cammy's wall to come back up so they can try to get this push in as they slowly, and look at that, it splits them up, but Exodus is still able to move out. The stun comes in, they're unable to push in. The Immor is out to save both teams. Shatter is massive from Pineapple. The Immor kind of keeping them alive. They run back to the field so that they can get some damage off in that versus down Pineapple. That's absolutely massive, but look at that. Cammy's in the back, same with Tilted, looking for a flank. They're gonna have one person on point to try to get this value, while Cammy's in the back, gonna be finally picked off. Looks like Hypnosis is Vespi's trying to stall this out. Tilted looking for a pick, unable to get it, and an amazing rotation that kind of saved Soar, that helped them out. Pineapple's pick was a bit unfortunate, but now they're gonna be able to cap with about 5 minutes. And when in King's Road, wait, yeah.
I was gonna say that definitely should have been all pineapple there, getting that shatter, but Exodus forgot that you have to kill Mortality Filth to kill players. So
Yeah.
kind of.
And the wise words of a tier 3 coach I know, you know, where's the follow-up?
Yeah.
Where's
the follow-up?
What are we seeing? They're playing a bit more cautiously. Now it looks like Exodus are wanting to take this space, but that wall comes out. The Flux High Noon looking to combo, and it gets 2 picks. Amazing coordination from Exodus, and now they're just able to roll down. Shroom looks like he wants to take out one of them with him, and they're kind of staggering Hypnosis. This is just toxic. No, they don't want to stagger him for longer than I thought. You know, I'll respect it, but I mean, it would have been a smarter play if you ask. When it comes down to Soar, though, they are going to be coming up with 6 ults.
Yeah, Soar has 5, nearly 6 ults here compared to Exodus's. I mean, they have 3. They're coming up on 4. So I mean, as Exodus here, you probably just playing to cycle ults as they do.
Yes. I'm being yelled at again. It's not Cam. I'll properly say it after this. Blizzard coming out. Shroom. They're using the Flux to find any value. And we're saving a couple of people, but they do get big. There's no speed boost to knock them out. Flint is going down, and this is just a slow thing. It's Chem E. Chem E. Yes, Chem E. Alright, I got it. Not Cam E. Chem E. My apologies, Navina. As they're moving in, they're just staggering themselves at this point.
Can we just make normal sounding names? Like once, come on guys. Come on. I can't say anything. My name's Early Abraxas. People have called me Abracaz. Abrazaz.
That's a Pokemon.
I got called Abracazal in a comp game. Like, I don't know. How do you even get Abraca? Whatever.
I don't know. You know, that's something Alianos would say. At least that's what I think.
Okay.
It looks like Soar's going to be having a chance to not cap this point. As Exodus are just running off. They want to stop this, but they do have the ult advantage. Let's see how they use this. Blizzard comes out. It gets the majority of people. Pineapple 3 are frozen empty using that High Noon. They invested 2 ults. They're able to get a lot out of it, and now they're capping.
I mean, Soar had to commit, like, I mean, they won these past 2 fights committing 2 ults each fight. That's really good. Exodus have no ults. Exodus are always popping ults, getting no value, while Soar are always popping 1 or 2 and getting value. So, I mean, the ult game is looking much stronger for Soar Academy here. They look like they know how to use their ults, how to cycle them, how to use them. So they look practiced on this comp, that is for sure.
Yep. They're spacing their time. Exodus does manage to lose Flint. Shatter coming out, but immediately gets blocked. The wall comes in. They're looking for any type of pick. The field coming out, looking for it. The High Noon spacing them out, but he gets shut down beforehand. Looks like Pineapple's also going to be going down. Hypnosis showing to get that play of the game, and this is where Soar may have made a big issue, because when it comes to this type of point, if you don't pick them off before you cap, it's already too late. They have to stop them from touching, and never mind. Soar's able to wall them off. Tilted goes to that Bastion, slows himself down, and Soar's able to cap. So all 3 points with about 3 minutes and 41 seconds. And you know, I said that because a lot of times I see for these teams, they kill the enemies very early, and then everyone goes to stall picks, and it's just able to win because of that. The spawn advantage, you know?
Yeah. I was finna make a joke and say any touchers in chat when Exodus needed to touch
Whoa,
point, but
you can't say that. Can't say that, dude. Boston Uprising represents Overwatch League. I don't think we can say that anymore.
Oh no! Oh my gosh.
It's Boston Uprising.
Anyways, that looked really good for Old Soar Academy, but it looked. Soar Academy played really well there. They cycled ults. They looked good with the comp they were running. Jerry was getting consistent walls. And honestly, it just kind of looked like Exodus didn't really know what to do. I mean, Exodus, usually when team pops ult, you pop ult back. But Exodus never really had any ults to pop. Because Exodus's issue is they either pop 0 ults and win the fight, or they pop every ult they had saved up. Like, there's no real, like, coordination with their ults. Soar looks good. I'm curious what Soar's comm structures, because Soar honestly play like they have an ult tracker and fight planner. Like, they just give off the vibe that they definitely know what they're doing before they do it.
If I have to give the one advantage that I'm at least noticing from an outsider's perspective, Soar look like a better team when it comes to patience. They don't over-aggress at times, and but they don't also aggress. But in the end, they do manage to win more fights because of the fact that they're giving up some space, or they're forcefully taking it up. And they're very coordinated into these fights, so I'm going to be giving them that props. Now, Exodus is on ball stage for this. you have to play this almost perfect, like not almost perfectly, but you're gonna have to abuse some of Soar's mistakes because if they wanted to right now, the moment that Big Hoot falls, they'll just run up on him. There's nothing that you can do to stop a speed boosting Reinhardt to go. Look at that. But they're gonna be using this opportunity. They already kind of pressure out the Immor. The pause coming in from Pineapple. Gonna start the 5 minutes. Yoink.
Very interesting. I think in the comp v comp.
Oh my god! Wait, Jerry got gotta go reread it before Navia yells at me again.
Kemi. But I think honestly the Echo here is probably really good for melting down tanks. So I feel like that might be where X's kind of get the advantage because I mean obviously you have the issue of they're not really being a good tank line. But you don't really want a good tank line, or you aren't really playing for a tank line when you're playing the comp that Exodus are running. You're playing to sort of displace and get picks, and I feel like the Echo helps in melting Soar's front line before they can do anything. And I mean, what's Shroom Boom gonna do? Swing a hammer at an Echo that's in the sky above him? No, like Empty is sort of empty.
We are gonna be getting the argument.
Empty and Flank are sort of the only people that can contest Tilted, and I mean Hypnotoss can throw a shield if Tilted goes for a flank, but like what he just did. But ultimately, I honestly prefer Exodus' comp here. And another pause? What?
Wait, what?
Auto pause.
I think someone had DC'd.
Oh, dude.
I would want to start. It was Pineapple.
Whatever the remaining time is, that's how much they have now.
Yep, it's already starting up. Oh, wait, yeah, it's already starting up, starting the timer.
That's fun. This has been really fun, hasn't it?
Oh my, yeah. And I kind of feel this is crucial. This is very bad when it comes to Exodus. The fact that he's DC'd means that they don't have a ball for that slam. They don't have the combo. And they're set up very well. They got through the hardest part, which is Big Hoot having to get on high ground without being immediately forced out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is looking awful for old Exodus right now. When you're losing your main tank so early, like they're automatically going to be down a person. And I mean, Soar are already playing really far back because I mean, when you're noticing a comp like this, you want to be playing sort of clump so you can prevent getting picked off solo. So I mean, Soar already looks like they know exactly how to counterplay this comp, which is what you really want. And Pineapple's back.
All right. So I will stop that timer. They have about 3 minutes left on this pause timer.
Nice. Sick. Transition is back into the game whenever that is.
Woo! All right. If we're looking at this ult charge, also kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out something to say, but there really is nothing as we're waiting for this game. We're going to be waiting. Shroom's going to be giving us the R. Vespi's giving us the R. We're starting in. Countdown for the 5 seconds. Chem-E is also going to have to kind of look to come back into this fight. Thor are still kind of waiting in. I don't like the way they're positioned. They're able to get so much poke in this angle. It would be best to just rotate and go on that high ground and force them out of it. But they seem like they want to wait. Their Pineapple's able to get one boop off, and they're just patiently. Kemi still contesting the point. Now they're switching up. Look at them. They're very patient, not wanting. But Jerry does get the pick on Kemi. That Immor coming out to save the team while they play underneath them. And now this is good because because Exodus has to rotate to look for any type of value on this. Pineapple's going to be stunned. He's forced out, and it's a very slow fight at this point. And now Exodus go to that opposite high ground. Soar, if they wanted to, can just go underneath them and just wait and then kind of go back and forth. But Tilted Waffle's about to have copy, which is a very fast ultimate if you can give him props. The boot coming in. Soar just look uncontested. They just don't look scared.
They look... Yeah. I mean, they're really struggling. I mean, how many times has Jerry killed Kemi at this point? Like twice?
Yep. Wolf Bomb comes out, but it doesn't manage to get anyone. It does kill the Immor. Tilted onto that Reinhardt, and Empty does get Kemi. Charge coming out. Tilted's able to do so much damage and might be able to get his shatter off. No, he gets immediately taken out by Speed Boost. The res comes right onto Kemi. Now they're just looking for any pick, but Source is able. They're gonna win the brawl in any points. If Exodus aren't playing coordinated, they're not gonna be able to win any fights. As we're seeing this go. Ooh, no, Shroom gets picked out by Vespi. that's kind of bad.
It's a pretty good stagger. Hypnotos has to commit his ultimate, which I don't know if that was
They're
neat.
wanting to commit. Yeah, they didn't need to commit the high noon, but they do manage to get Flints off, so they're not going to be having a res. But Exodus are still able to take a fight while they're waiting for Shroom to come back.
Jerry is definitely the unsung hero of that fight. I don't think anyone's going to give Jerry as much credit as he deserves. Jerry walled off Tilted Waffle's charge as Reinhardt to prevent him from picking off Shroom Boom, which honestly might have just saved him the whole point. Because not only would Tilted Waffle gotten Shroom Boom there, but he also would have gotten a free shatter. So shout out to Jerry, man. I'm watching you, buddy.
Yep, Hypnosis does get tilted. We're going to less than a minute. Pulse Bomb comes out. Hypnosis, I think, walked into it or something, but he gets. But they do manage to get Pineapple in return. The enemy Flux coming out. Look at that. It gets around 2 players. Sound Barrier gets used to be safe. Now they're going to be able to res Pineapple. The Transcendence is helping to kind of stall this out. But Shatter comes, and they're just using it to get Big Hoot. They do get Vespi, but they're not able to follow up on him. Shroom is so far out. He didn't able to get healing. His team was so back up. Jerry now is unable to pull out the Blizzard as he gets picked off by Tilted Waffle, but Flank in return is going to be taking him out. And now this is a point of who can contest. Mine's coming out. That pretty much stopped them from contesting. That's going to give Exodus the point.
Yep.
Yeah. And I feel like if Soar had just pushed up with Shroom, or Shroom had just stayed back, then they would have won that point. They would have been able to full hold, but they weren't communicating.
I feel like that was just a series of unfortunate events for Soar. It was just like a real domino.
You know, I'll give you that. You know, that's pretty fair. Soar kind of waiting to take up this space, which is pretty respectful because they have the opportunity to go straight back to the first choke, but they're wanting to wait on this. Their shield is taking a lot of pressure. Now they're finally together. They probably use speed boost outside of spawn. The choke now up on here. They have the opportunity to just run up, but they're wanting to use the Blizzard. Does it get that ball? It does, and they're just focusing down on Pineapple. On the bright side, it does force everyone else on Exodus. I have to go back up to choke. Yeah. Now the Valk coming in from Flint, so looking to do it. Kemi gets revenge, gets Hypnosis. Finally tired of getting picked before the fight even starts. This may give them the opportunity. Shroom does get tilted, but however, the Mei is stuck out in the front line using the wall. Manages to not get picked off, but still gets followed up by Vespi. Now the entirety of Soar is having to back up. They only have 3 people. As Empty was on like 13 HP, manages to just barely survive. The ult advantage is on Soar, but Exodus just has free cart. Soar is not pushing in on them, and they're not aggressing. And this was the issue that I was focused on earlier. They have the opportunity to just run in and kill Big Hoot, so no damage, and they're just able. But they're giving the enemy opportunity. And while the enemy Flux does come out in the high noon, they're using it. They do manage to get one, but it is played. The Junkrat tired of getting used. And look at that, 2 of the supports. Both supports get shattered out, but Tilted's able to get the picks. He's able to get the value. These shatters are not getting followed up. Shroom is using them in bad situations, but it still manages to help them win the fight. Because of the fact that the big players for those picks were just unable to get the support value, and they weren't able to get peel or anything.
I should be back uninterrupted now, but I'm glad I muted my mic a ton.
Oh, well, that's perfectly fine. Pineapple is in their backline. Pulse Bomb comes out, doesn't get Hypnosis this time. The wall is used to put Jerry on high ground, but he gets one tap by Vespi and the Kemi combo. Jerome now has to play very carefully. He doesn't have his tank to eat up half his damage, and more being used. There's also mines. They are able to use the sound barrier to kind of save themselves. They're backing up, but speed boost goes down very early in this fight. Same with Shroom. Exodus are going to be able to kind of push this cart on the edge of second point, and now they're just uncontested, able to get it. From being almost full held, just like on Rialto, to being able to push it this far is honestly amazing from Exodus. I like to see the fight in them. They're unready. They're ready to just adapt, while Soar is just unready to play aggressive and look for these advantages that they can. For such an aggressive team in the inaugural season, they're really looking like a bunch of turtles now.
Soar are smart there because they kind of prevented what Exodus had happened to them, and they just backed up quickly instead of, trying to make any semblance of a last fight. Soar honestly just need to be playing for time here because if they can force...
They have Ripfire. He's waiting. He's being super slow. Oh, he ignores flank. And he goes for Jerry instead. That was very good, but you know, I don't think it was on. I think it was on purpose, but you know, either way, to them some oath. But Exodus is uncontested on touching point. They're not doing anything, and now they're using their ults. Finally, some ults are coming on the side of Soar, but Hypnosis goes down. He falls into the mines, and Exodus are able to cap with like 30 seconds, and that caps in a minute. So now the question comes: can Exodus either hold voice crack, hold for over 4 minutes, or be able to cap this so far that it doesn't matter their time bank, and they're just able to stall them out through all 3 points?
That's, I mean, Hypnotos, we're not going to talk about it, buddy, but we can if you want to. He popped his Sig Flux, and then when he went to go back behind cover, there happened to be mines there, and they melted him. That's unfortunate.
Again. I think the biggest issue when it comes to Exodus right now is when it comes to this push. Soar very well on their defense, and it took Exodus until almost about overtime to be able to cap. It was still like a minute 30, but it still took them a while. Exodus is wanting to play this. No, never mind. They're going on to this brawl. They now realize that they don't have the time to play patiently and look for those picks, so they want to brawl this out. So now it's up to Soar to just not get picked. They have, what, 2 fights maybe? 1 very long fight, though?
Pretty much. Honestly, Soar are probably just... Soar are probably just going to attempt to get early picks, or pray for early picks. That or they're going to let the fight draw out for a little bit and play for ults. It really depends on what Soar want to do here, because Soar, honestly, all they have to do is hold them for a minute, and then they either play for a draw or a win.
Yeah, look at this, the rotation coming out. Big fire strike. It's going to be giving Shroom the advantage and ult charge. Walls come out from both teams. It splits up, but Tilted is flanking. That's honestly massive because he's going to be able to start getting these picks if they don't stop him. The team has to split up, focus their attention somewhere else. Now the entirety of Soar is back up off the point. Pineapple charges, but Jerry's gonna get tilted. Kemi is gonna get Hypnosis, but Shroom is gonna be able to get it. Now these teams are about even in this fight, but Soar's looking to end it before anything. Vespi's on this point. He's getting frozen, gets stunned, gets to die by his own hands. The murderer himself. Now the team has to back up, and it's all up to stall. They have 15 seconds and not gonna be able to have a full fight here as both pause coming in.
Dude.
What is with these pauses? They have like 3 minutes maybe. Ping. Man, this reminds me of playing against Vantage, where he always crashed or something, so you had to end, so you had to pause, and the momentum would just slow down.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be an issue, cause Sword, yeah, they're gonna lose momentum coming in here, but looking at ult economies, I mean, Sword definitely sort of favor Tilted Waffle. It might be able to get this Riptire in time, but I really doubt it if Shroom Boom hits the shatter he's wanting to hit. So that might be a severe issue looking at all economies.
Yeah, like Pineapple has to hard block this shatter, but while Flint has to use this field, but that's gonna give Tilted like what, maybe 1-2 shots, and then immediately get Riptire. So it's up to kind of how fast they can play and if they can keep the momentum. And Jerry is also just having massive ping issues. So if that doesn't fix, they may come in at a disadvantage. They only have around 2 minutes. So we'll just have to see. Vespi does go on to Diva, though. He's doing that solely for the stall. I think something also I like is Jerry... I feel like Jerry, you know, like you said before, Jerry's been an unsung hero. A lot of his walls or just his freeze have stopped the Exodus from getting too much value. And I feel like he might be able to get a wall off here, because if he just hits Pineapple, if they manage to just wall off Pineapple and immediately burst him down, there's nothing they can do.
Alright, sick. Okay, there we go. R's from both sides.
Alright, starting it up. Let's see how this goes. Oh man, it was 1 minute and 7 seconds left. Let's hope they don't pause this time.
Let's pray.
Alright, now they're going into this fight. They're looking for the opportunity. That field gets used. The enemy has to go out of the open. The shatter comes out. It's absolutely massive. Gets Big Hoot. Flint gets empty, so there's no high noon built, but Tilted has that rib tire. They have to shut it down. He's being so patient with it, waiting. It gets broken by Flank. The absolute aim god himself. Flank goes down, but the Blizzard was built. It's gonna get Pineapple, but Tilted gets Shroom. There's very little follow-up. It's 2v3 for... Now Speed Boost walks into the mines. Fast Speed does manage to get it. Only 2 people are able to contest, and it looks like Exodus might be able to cap this as they're just trying to stall for their team to come back. Pineapple going on to this ball. Soar is going to be coming up on some ults, but Exodus want to end this fight as fast as possible. They're going to be able to pick off Jerry, the Tracer being able to touch. He's spinning around, but now they can't do anything. Honestly, amazing when it came from Exodus. They just found those couple picks, and Soar were just unable to kind of finish them off because Speed Boost walked in on a Junkrat's corpse, which we all know causes death. They do have a kind of a bad spawn as Empty has to walk back up and reset his ult charge, so there's no High Noon being built. But the ult is on the advantage for Hypnos, as he's going to be having a Flux, while Flint is going to be having a Field, and Big Hoot is coming up on a sound barrier for this fight. Tilted almost goes down. Now when it comes in the slam, there's a Flux. Unable to kill anyone, but it does manage to force out that Immortal. Pineapple's unable to save himself because he tried to charge out and didn't get picked. The sound barrier gets used, it slowed them down, but they're still able to get card percentage. Empty does manage to get Cam, and the Shatter comes out, and that's going to be the end to Exodus's reign, to Exodus's chance to get any farther on this card. But honestly, just getting .1 and bringing it past the choke is so amazing because you can practically full hold. Blizzard gets used to split them off, but it looks like Pineapple is still able to touch this card. And now Kemi is back onto the point. Never mind, he's going to be going down. Poor man, poor life, as 2 people are left onto this card, but they're also just being melted in over time. This is still in my comp game. Diva Bomb comes out looking for anyone. It's not massive, how unfortunate. And now we're going to be seeing Soar's attack on this push with about 4 minutes, so this is about very scary.
This is
also, yeah, I do want to give a little announcement to the stream. After this map, Braxis is going to have to go, so everything will be not streamed, but probably recorded. So we apologize, but you'll be able to see the score line after the map. So make sure you're in the Flux Cup server so you can see that.
This shouldn't be an issue. If I can just get a replay code from someone, I can edit in the final map, so that shouldn't be too big a deal. I just wish my night didn't have set plans an hour before, telling me like 20 minutes before we had plans. It's whatever.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. And, you know, I just thank you for even coming to stream this game for as much, so people can see how good this game is and how great these teams are doing. Looks like Exodus wants to run this very centered defense. Kemi's running this Torbjorn, which I'm not saying is bad for, but a lot of players in this league have what's called hammer-o-itis, where they see someone low and they're like, oh, I'm gonna hammer kill, and then that person gets immor, and then the Torbjorn gets stunned, they get flashed, they get slept, they get booped, they get every CC in the game and die, and then, you know, that's just a fault they have.
Kimmy will be fine. Kimmy will be fine. We believe in Kimmy.
I hope Kemi will be fine.
I wish did Empty get drafted? I don't think so, because I would have loved to see the Empty Torb.
You know, me too. I don't think this Empty is the same Empty. Look at that wall. It was good, but they couldn't follow up on it. But Pineapple walks back out into a spot where he could have died. It was so scary. The Ember comes out early for both teams. It's all up to these first picks. Tilted on the side, and he gets picked off by the Torb Turret. The true threat is someone you'll never see. And now Soar is having to back into the spawn room. Exodus did very well when it came to pushing back. They know that they don't have to do much other than wait, and Tilted is playing in such an aggressive position that the Torb Turret's able to just get picks in small value because they can't shut it down. I don't know how. It's being blocked by so much. Look at that. Reaper's behind, and they don't focus him. Now the fields come out from both teams. They're both looking to use anything, and Kemi's Torb manages to get speed boost. Tilted managed to get hypnosis. They're just letting this Exodus live for so long, and now I'm starting to believe that Exodus will be able to hold for these 4 minutes. Well, 3 at this point.
I wouldn't go as far as say that it's looking like they could hold. I mean, they're getting like good few team fights here, but ultimately I think at the end of the day it's going to be hard to match Soar when Soar has ults.
Okay, you won that one. Jerry is going to be coming up on a Blizzard, though, which they're going to be chucking in. Hypnos does go on to the Zarya, so I'm guessing they're wanting to just make it use that bubble for extra peel for the team, so they can just win this, as well as Zarya 100% does so much damage. Shatter comes out, it gets saved, but also not saved, but the Molten Core comes out, it splits up the team, slows down the push, but the entirety of Exodus was almost blizzard. Speed Boost does manage to get Kemi. This may be the opportunity they're looking for. Shattered comes out, it gets blocked, that field being used from flank, and they're using it as the opportunity to just push in. And as I ate my words, because Abraxas was right, they're just using their ultimates, and that's just being able to win. Tilted almost had Death Blossom, and he was waiting. If he didn't get stunned, he would have been able to use it and possibly bring back that fight, but Sword's going to be able to win this fight. And now it's all up to Exodus to try to touch this. 3-on cart might be able to push this if Exodus play a bit more carefully.
The power of having ults.
Yeah, they are going to also have Death Blossom, so we're going to have to see how this fight turns out. These teams are being slow, both waiting at choke. Soar is still wanting 4-on cart. They use this field. They're looking for an early pickoff. However, Soar is playing so patient, and they're able to contest this cart. It's up to Tilted to look for this Death Blossom. He pops in. He gets Sherry. He gets Speed. He gets Shroom. Absolutely insane. Braxis, look at chat. Braxis is kind of getting intense. They're at a minute.
This is much closer than I sort of initially believed it to be.
I thought that they were going to speed in, but no. Tilted also goes onto the Junkrat for more zone control. But Soar has 2 ultimates, Sound Barrier and High Noon. This could be either a massive play or a no play. Look at that. Their card's like 2% away from capping. The High Noon being used, it gets canceled, not getting anything. Shatter! It's everyone! It's absolutely insane, and they managed to get Pineapple. The Molten Core does come out, though. It's able to contest on this point. It's all up to them to just touch this cart as Vespi and Flint goes down, and Soar is going to be able to cap, bringing this into a 2-1 lead.
Nice stuff for them. I mean, that looked good for Exodus.
Yeah, but the unfortunate part is that we are going to have to stop stream as Brexit has to go. So, if you want to continue staying up to date, make sure to join the League Zero. Not League Zero, sorry. Flux Cup Discord. Thank you so much for joining us at this time. And make sure to join us for tomorrow for Experts Games.